I want you to picture a refugee camp. No massive stadiums, no roaring crowds, zero fame. Just a family escaping a brutal civil war, leaving literally everything behind for one simple thing: safety. It's a humble, deeply challenging starting line that, unfortunately, millions around the world know all too well. They had no idea what the future held, but they had hope. Now look at this number, 20. That is the almost incomprehensible leap from that exact refugee camp to standing under the brightest lights on football's absolute biggest stage. I mean, in just 2 decades, we're talking about a life that went from mere survival to global sporting immortality. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking one of the most incredible sports stories of our time, the ultimate World Cup upset and the sheer grit and data-defying journey of Nestory Irankunda. If you love dissecting how the impossible becomes reality through clear, hard facts, you are in exactly the right place. Chapter 1, The Improbable Match. Okay, let's dive straight into the fiery tension of the 2026 World Cup. It's June 14th, 2026, Vancouver, the opening match of the tournament, Australia versus Turkey. Millions upon millions of eyes are watching globally. The pressure in that stadium is absolutely immense. You know, the kind of pressure that can crush a veteran player, let alone a youthful squad stepping onto the pitch for their crucial opening game. Now, what's really interesting here is exactly what the data was telling us as the game unfolded. Look at this possession breakdown. Turkey is sitting on a massive 69% possession, compared to Australia's 31%. On paper, Turkey wasn't just playing the game, right? They were completely dictating it. They had the ball, they controlled the tempo, and by all conventional football wisdom, they had total control. And this right here brilliantly illustrates the sheer statistical imbalance we were seeing out on the pitch. Look at the total shots, Turkey at 10, Australia at just 4. Literally everything we know about football analytics suggests Australia had absolutely no business winning this match. They were being outpossessed, heavily outshot. Basically, the stage was totally set for a routine, predictable victory for the dominant side. But then, the shock. Defying every metric, every single piece of data on that pitch, it actually happened. Nestory Irankunda found the back of the net, scoring Australia's first goal of the 2026 FIFA World Cup and giving the Socceroos an electrifying 1-0 lead. It was this moment of raw, unscripted magic that instantly flipped the script of the entire tournament. But to truly understand the weight of that goal, we actually have to pause and rewind the clock. We need to look back and figure out exactly how this young hero reached Vancouver in the first place. Chapter 2, Escaping War. So our timeline starts right here, in 2006. Nestory was born in a refugee camp in Tanzania. His parents had fled Burundi with literally nothing but hope for their family's survival. They faced the kind of agonizing uncertainty that defines the refugee experience. But soon after his birth, their trajectory completely shifted. The family relocated to Adelaide, Australia, starting an entirely new life from scratch in a totally unfamiliar world. And it was there in Adelaide that Nestory became the boy with the dream. He fell deeply in love with football. But, while other kids just saw a fun game to play on the weekends, Nestory saw a genuine opportunity. Every single training session was a chance to prove himself. He developed these traits that simply can't be taught: electric speed and this totally fearless confidence. His unique drive forced local coaches to stop and take notice very, very early on. Let's move forward and see how this builds into an explosive professional career. Chapter 3, Rising Through the Ranks. His ascent was nothing short of meteoric. Check out this milestone from 2024. Nestory actually became the second youngest player ever to score for the Socceroos in a World Cup qualifier, netting a totally crucial goal against Palestine. So this wasn't just a great local feel-good story anymore. This was early international success that firmly put him on the radar of massive, heavyweight European clubs. His trajectory was just incredible. From a local sensation at Adelaide United, he secured a massive transfer to global powerhouse Bayern Munich, a move that was celebrated all across Australia. But then he made a really fascinating strategic pivot, moving to the English Championship side, Watford. And this quote right here explains the sheer agency and brilliant calculation behind that specific move. Nestory said, "My biggest goal is to play in a World Cup. I have to be playing minutes." He made the bold, highly risky gamble to essentially sacrifice a prestigious roster spot at Bayern Munich for Watford, solely to guarantee the playing time he knew he critically needed to be ready for the world stage. And that brings our narrative full circle right back to the pitch in Canada, where that massive career gamble was put to the ultimate test. Chapter 4, The Big Payoff. Now, we already saw his opening goal, but here is the stunning final scoreline, 2-0. Following the story's massive breakthrough, Connor Metcalf added a second goal, cementing a truly spectacular upset. The team that was statistically dominated on paper walked away with a clean sheet and a historic victory. Australia completely erupted. You have to notice this powerful reaction from Ange Postecoglou, the former Socceroos boss, who was actually serving as a pundit for the match. At halftime, reacting to that initial strike, he declared it will change his whole world. It's just a profound validation from a deeply respected football mind, underlining the sheer magnitude of what this 20-year-old had just achieved. But as we wrap up our analysis, we really need to shift our focus to why this specific sports story resonates so far beyond the chalk lines of the football pitch. Chapter 5, A Global Symbol of Hope. So, the crucial point we need to take away is that this was always about way more than just a goal. It's built on resilience, it's built on a family's ultimate sacrifice. For refugee families all over the world, Nestory's starring role in a World Cup upset is living, breathing proof that your starting point absolutely does not determine your destination. He is living up to the hype and proving that the impossible is practically attainable. I want to leave you with this thought today. Nestory Irankunda's journey reminds us that champions are defined by their relentless drive. Where you begin doesn't determine your destination. The only question left to ask yourself is, how far will you